Well, the namesake of the Knights of Columbus also is coming under criticism. Earlier this week, officials in Fulton County, Georgia, said Columbus Day is no longer a holiday. Instead, it has been replaced by Juneteenth, when American slaves in Texas learned of their freedom. And earlier this month, a statue of Christopher Columbus was removed from the California state capitol. In Baltimore and in Buffalo, statues of Columbus were vandalized or destroyed by protesters. Joining me now on Skype to talk more about this is Carol Delaney, retired professor of anthropology at Stanford University and the author of the book Columbus and the Quest for Jerusalem. Carol, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, tell us about Christopher Columbus and Catholicism.
Well, as the book is titled, people don't know anything about his whole mission. I mean, he was always deeply religious, but close to the Franciscans. And wherever he went, he always stayed with the Franciscans. But his whole project was to go to meet the Grand Khan in China, as we know. But the money was to be used to finance a crusade to take Jerusalem back from the Muslims before the end of the world. And he even figured out how many years were left. And he wanted everybody to become Christian so they would be saved. It's in all his agreements with Queen Isabella. Go ahead.
No, continue, please.
It was in his agreements with Isabella, but nobody knows what the whole project was about.
I know in your book you also say he wasn't driven by greed or imperialism, but by religious passion. You touched on that. Can you talk about that maybe a little bit more?
Well, I think I did just a minute ago. He was very much religious, and after the first voyage, when he came back after the first voyage, all of the men that he'd had to leave behind were dead. And when he went back to Spain, he became a lay Franciscan monk and is said to have worn the robes for the rest of his life.
Carol, if you had the chance, I'm wondering, what would you like to say to someone who wants to remove the name of a statue of Christopher Columbus from a building or a school and remove a statue as well?
I think they know nothing about the man at all. And I have to say, I didn't know anything much except in 1492, he sailed the ocean blue. What happened was I was teaching a class called Millennial Fever in '99, and everybody was afraid of the turn of the millennium and what was going to happen, and planes would crash, etc. And I came across one little footnote to Columbus's apocalyptic millennial beliefs, and I'd never heard about them. And that was very interesting, because a lot of my work has been about religion. And so the more I found out, the more I investigated, the more I realized people know nothing about this man. And I wish they would
so much for
read his diary or my book.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for coming on, and we appreciate the insights and you chatting with us a little bit more about Christopher Columbus. We appreciate it. Carol Delaney, retired professor of anthropology at Stanford University and author of the book Columbus and the Quest for Jerusalem. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.